How are people able to keep in touch with their heritage despite their freedom being taken away from them? The history behind Vietnam paints a rich story surrounding the deep-rooted traditions, customs, and beliefs of the Vietnamese people. It is our responsibility to keep the vitality of our history alive, acting as torchbearers to carry on the significance of such events. Although we each have our own different paths and stories, we all share the same blood running through our veins. As a second-generation Vietnamese immigrant, I am honored to be able to stand here and tell you my story. The most notable parts of my childhood included my Bawai's steady hands, carefully chopping green onions and chicken to enhance the aroma of the fresh jiao on the stove. My own Wai's favorite place is in the gardens, where he's often found delicately trimming his bonsai or tending to the kumquat tree. Many of us have our own versions of these distinct memories where we're able to enjoy quiet moments with our family. Thinking back on these moments, I now realize how sacred these experiences are and how much perseverance they've endured. Every April 30th, I visit my grandparents' place. Usually, it'd be rare to see him without a smile on his face. However, on days like this, he wore a silent expression, and a solemn atmosphere would settle throughout the house. We still kept our usual routine. They would offer us jiao or freshly cut fruit. I'd sit on the sofa, my Wai and Bawai took their seats on the other side. Then we'd talk. He usually told us stories, often about his childhood, how he and Bawai met, how my mom was when she was my age. However, on April 30th, I would hear more of the concealed stories that he usually hid deep within his memories. I still remember my surprise as he spoke about his time in prison, being held in small cells for attempting to escape the war. He would talk about the refugee camps, the crowded rooms, and the sounds of wailing children as starvation settled like a disease. How painful boarding the boat was, venturing into unknown waters and being weighed down with the fear that your family might not make it. The actual journey was brutal. In the sea, it was hard to recover from sickness, despite how quickly it spread. Violent ocean storms lasted hours, and families would embrace the crying children until it passed. As a kid, I was filled with questions that had to be answered. How could you eat the same thing for months? Did you see pirates? Why do you never tell me these stories on other days? He answered back in a purposeful tone, speaking with years of wisdom. Did your parents tell you about the war yet? No additional words were needed. I recognized the sadness in his tone and the yellow flag in the corner of the living room. Piecing together the details, I later realized the true significance of the banner, holding admiration for the yellow cloth embedded with 3 red lines. The bold yellow showcased the strength of the Vietnamese people and their wishes to foster freedom and democracy towards the future, while the 3 red stripes showed the unity between northern, central, and southern regions of Vietnam. When I see the way my grandfather now looks at the flag, I find myself mirroring the look of pride and joy on his face as he remembers what it represents: culture, resilience, freedom. That year, I recognized the significance of our prayers. We prayed for those who passed away in the war, those who faced starvation while struggling to survive. We mourned the losses on that day and how Vietnam had succumbed to the clutches of communism. However, there's a silver lining to this day of grief. In this ceremony, we prayed for our future generations as well. In honoring the flag on a day such as April 30th, we can properly pay homage to the individual sacrifices of those who gave up everything to offer better lives and opportunities for their families. History has already been set in stone by our predecessors, and although we cannot change the past, we can change how we step forward towards the future. Instead of remembering April 30th as the day we lost our freedom, it can be honored as a day that embodies how far our people have come. Our people were able to cross oceans for better lives, start from scratch in foreign countries, and pave our own roads. As the first generation built the foundation for us, the following generations must begin the framework. Through individual efforts, we are given the opportunity to contribute back to our community by remembering what our predecessors have done. A culture's pride is strengthened by the stories that are told and the people that live on. We step on new soil, but our roots stay the same. Thank you.